You guys clicked on a Frost Death Knight video. Are you okay? Is there anybody looking for you? Do you have an emergency point of contact? Um, a lot of you have probably stepped in the arena as Frost with its current tuning after watching some guides on rotation, gearing, stats, and you're like, I'm squishy, I have no pressure, I can't carry teammates at this MMR with this spec. I am here to tell you that you can get your rating goals. You can get your 1800, you can get your weapon transmog. Um, I am going to show you a little bit of a different guide than maybe you're used to. So, I did this in my unholy video, and instead of going through stats and gearing and all that stuff, I want to go through some gameplay. I'm going to explain to you decision making, why I made decisions that I made, why I used defensives when I used them, why I hit a certain target, all that sort of stuff. I got some feedback on my other video that I was playing with a healer who knew what they were doing, and not everyone has that. So, what do you do in a solo shuffle, right? Where it's completely random, there's no coordination. How do you make it work there? So, I made a fresh Frost Death Knight. I geared him for Frost, and this is at 0 CR, 2K MMR, and I'm not doing anything special. So I will walk you through it. I've got some gameplay of mistakes I made, of things that I did right, and hopefully this helps. All right, guys. So first game here. This is round 5. The priest is a little mad at the shaman because he just got one shot, and this MMR, people are gonna make mistakes. Okay. It's okay. A rule for myself is I do not type in chat unless it's a compliment. You can bind ping, but in BG Blitz and Solo Shuffle, don't type in chat unless it's something nice. Keep the positive attitude, and it's going to help you win games. So I just tell them a little encouragement here. I'm like, hey, your fades are great. You're doing good. Don't worry about it. Let's go. We got this. So we run in here. The paladins are right next to each other, so that's good for me. So I'm running right in. I'm wasting no time. So I run right in, and I get them both chains. So I get chains of ice on both of them, and now I'm on stun DR. Now, I know that the hunter is back there by my priest because he got binding shot on him. However, I need to get my go. They're right next to each other, and we need to get some counter pressure here because I know that my priest is getting harassed by the hunter already. So, to get some pressure going, I go ahead and I grip the healer in. What I do is I blind them both. This is a classic Frost Death Knight go. Okay, so the ret trinketed. We like that. So the red trinketed the blind. What I'm doing on this go is I'm blinding them. Ideally, you always want to get the healer and at least one DPS. If you can get both DPS, that's great, but you at least want to get the healer and one DPS. You always, as a Frost Death Knight, want to get pressure on the healer. That doesn't mean that you're going to chase the healer from beginning to end. You don't want to do that. But you want to get some cleave going with the healer and another DPS. So I grip him in, we get a blind go, so blind Remorseless Winter, so now it's ticking up, and then Frostworm's Fury. So Frostworm's Fury, I now have them both in a stun, the ret has no trinket, and also when you use Frostworm's Fury with Rider, you get a Death and Decay. So now my obliterates are going to cleave, right? So Pillar of Frost, the Remorseless Winter that I pressed, it ticks again. And now I silence the healer right out of the stun. 99% of the time you're going to want to throw silence on the healer. Very, very important when you are doing this CC chain. Blind, Remorseless Winter, Frostworm's Fury, Strangulate on the healer. And you may need to practice this. You may need to go in some arenas. Do not care about winning or losing, right? Just get the timing on the go right. Practice it, okay? Maybe you need to play 30 games and just do the go. Very, very important that you do not leave gaps in the CC when you're doing this go. So we get it. Now, bunch of pressure off. I see the Holy Paladin has put Blessing of Sacrifice on the ret here. So what do we do? Right, he's got a big defensive on him. Swap targets, right? So I grip in the healer and I start putting pressure on the healer. So we're hitting the healer. Now, at this point, the healer starts running away. So he starts going around the pillar. I know my healer is an angel form over here. I don't really have much damage left. I've used my Pillar of Frost. I've got 2 seconds left on it. It doesn't make sense to chase their healer, right? So what I do is I just hit the closest target. I go ahead and I swap. That way I'm still in line of sight of my healer. I don't have much damage left, so we're just hitting the ret still. Okay. And now we're in between a go. Alright, so this is a question that a lot of people ask is okay, I did my Frost Death Knight go. I didn't one-shot anybody. What do I do now? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna disrupt, okay? You are going to keep Chains of Ice on the targets. You don't have enough damage to sit there and really trade with anybody as a Frost Death Knight. Unfortunately, the sustain is low and you're not tanky enough to trade with someone's cooldown. So what you're gonna do is Chains of Ice in the Hunter, Chains of Ice in the Paladin, and I'm just thinking about my next go. Okay, at this point I'm thinking, okay, Ret doesn't have trinkets. Just gonna put my Killing Machine into him. Now, something very important that happened there. I'm running Shattering Blade. I think it is very good. Shattering Blade has a negative PvP modifier. What it is when you have 5 stacks of Remorseless Winter, it hits for a big Frost Strike. Shattering Blade, it has a negative PvP modifier by like 50%, but Frost Strike is buffed in PvP, so sometimes it can hit pretty hard. So what happened there, I didn't have any cooldowns, but I hit him with a big Frost Strike and he got scared. So when people get scared, they press defensives. So now, this Ret has his bubble is going to be gone by the time my damage is back, and he has no trinket. So this is really important because in the starting room, a lot of times people will call kill target, right? They'll be like, hey, hit the Hunter, hit the Ret, whatever they say. Who you kill is dynamic, okay? If you said go Hunter, and the Ret no longer has bubble or trinket because you cleave as a Frost Death Knight in your goes, Ret is now the kill target. So, target acquired, right? So now we're waiting. Again, just keeping Chains of Ice. I don't want him going near my healer. I don't want him going wherever he wants. So, just chainsing. Here I see the the Holy Paladin is running over to my healer. What do you think he's gonna do? He's gonna Hodge him, and then he's gonna try and rep him. So what I need to do here is grip their healer in, even though I don't have my go right now. Protect your healer, okay? So I grip him back, and he uses freedom. So he uses freedom to get back to the healer because he really wants to get some CC. They're behind on pressure, and he needs to do something to get pressure. So he uses freedom. Now, here we are. The healer is in a scatter shot, but we know we're fine. I have anti-magic zone that I can give my shaman if we need to. We're fine. So here it goes. I have Pillar of Frost back now. I know who the kill target is, right? So we grip in. The priest got a fear off, which is really good. But we grip him in, and because he doesn't have freedom, he's sitting in my Remorseless Winter Slow, right? He used his freedom earlier offensively. So now I know that the Holy Paladin is going to be sitting in that full fear into a full stun because he won't be able to get out of it. Rhett is going to get stunned here by Remorseless Winter, and he doesn't have Trinket or Bubble. So we'll see how that plays out. Right. So again, kill target is dynamic. If the Paladin had Bubble and Trinketed earlier, he would be the kill target too. If the Hunter had Trinket turtled, he would have been kill target too. Okay, it's dynamic. And there, for all my goes, we're gripping the healer in. Now, I wanted to show this one because I just played against them, right? In Shuffle, people's main complaint is their teammates. You play with everybody. So you need to beat people, and you also need to sometimes carry people. And that's, I'm not saying I carried these people here, but I'm saying you need to make it work, okay? So we run out. Now, this one is a little weird. People are gonna do this with Frost Death Knight. When you're on the 6th round and you've one-shotted people in your go, they start to get a little scared. Okay, they start to, in low MMR especially, they start to get scared. They start to do things. They pre-wall. They pre-press defensives. So Shaman comes out here. I remember the priest was yelling at the Shaman earlier. So he's probably like freaking out. He doesn't want to get one shot and yelled at. So he walls already because he thinks I'm going to do the go. This is a very important lesson because what do? Nothing. It's okay. Just wait. If they are using defensives, he used Burrow as well. So the priest, I think, is standing still typing to him. Probably pretty angry, but I'm just going to wait, okay? Hold your go. You don't have to send it right away. Wait for the perfect go. Not the perfect go. Wait for a good go, okay? You don't want to hold it all game. I want to be clear about that. You're not holding it for next game. But if they press defensives, just wait out the defensive for a second. Because now he doesn't have Burrow and he doesn't have Wall. We get the grip blind into the AoE stun. We're using Pillar of Frost right after the AoE stun. And now, as soon as he's coming out, that's the healer right there. That's the healer. As soon as he's coming out of his stun, we're gonna silence him. Right? No gaps in the CC. Practice this if you need to. No gaps in the CC. Blind, stun, silence. Alright. And obviously, that's how that one goes. So I put these ones out of order a little bit. So I don't want to spoil it, but I want to show you guys. I made a mistake here, and I lost a game. And I want to show you that first. Okay. Okay. I want to show you guys how I screwed this up. And the mistake I made, because the next game these are out of order in the video player, but this game came first. And I corrected that mistake, and I'm going to show you the difference. So here we go. Frost Mage, Retribution Paladin, Holy Priest. Already it's annoying, right? Because Holy Priest they're not a disc priest. So they're a little bit, for Frost Death Knight specifically, they're a little harder to kill. They have Angel Form, they're a little tankier for us. Frost Mage, is annoying for any melee. And Ret Paladin has Freedom. Our super disruptive ability is Chains of Ice. So we're a little nervous about this one. It's okay. We go for a grip. Priest fades it, which is awesome. Good for him. If you're a priest watching this, fade our grip. So I grip him back, and I know he doesn't have fade now, so I send the stun. So I start getting some damage off, right? We get the silence. Now we get Trinket, which is really good. But here's a big mistake that I made. I immediately should have swapped and kicked Searing Glare. Searing Glare makes you miss your next abilities. So all the pressure that I have here, right? I could have just turned. He used that on him. I could have turned. I could have probably gotten Bubble out of the red here. But because I tunnel visioned, I didn't turn, I didn't kick, I wasn't fast enough. I got Searing Glared, and I wasted 5 whole seconds of my opener. This was very, very bad by me. Okay, so bad work, Skull. Right. Something I should have also done was get out of the way. Right? They have I should have gotten out of the way. But I'm going to show you right now, again, what do you do? What do you do when your go doesn't go well? What are you supposed to do in between your go? Is a very common question as Frost Death Knight. And Disruption, respecting the enemy's cooldowns. Okay? You are not, if you don't have damage, you are not going to trade. If you don't have your Pillar of Frost up, you are not going to trade with anybody else's damage, let alone their cooldowns. Respect that. Okay? Be humble. And what I do here is I realize, maybe a little too late, right? I'm like, hey, they're doing a lot of damage to me. My healer is probably a little frustrated. It's totally fine to just line, right? Get out of the way. I don't have damage right now. I'm not going to kill him outside of Pillar of Frost. He is going to do more damage to me and get more out of our healer than I am out of him. So I need to start thinking here. This is tough because Holy Priest is hard to kill. He still has Angel form, but he's the only one without Trinket. Because I screwed up earlier, I did not. I didn't get Trinket out of the red. So we'll see how that plays out. So let me hang on. I want to go back. I want to catch that. So one thing I did right. I see the CC come out of my healer from the mage, right? This is a weak aura. Wago.io has a weak aura called Healer CC. Highly recommend. I didn't make it, but I recommend it. Whenever your healer gets Dragon's Breath, you know what comes next, right? If your healer gets pet stunned by Hunter, they're probably gonna get trapped. If your healer gets Dragon's Breath by Mage, what's gonna happen? Polymorph, right? Hodge by Holy Paladin, probably Rep. Incap or Swept by a Monk, probably Song of Chi-Ji. So this is where having a weak aura like that is helpful for me because I know the CC chain and I know I can stop that CC. So I know he's gonna poly. So we kick that. Protect your healer, okay? Protect them. They're your people. Look out for them so they can look out for you. Now, here, we're in a lot of trouble because, again, they have everything, we have nothing, right? He still has Bubble, still has Trinkets. Trying to get some pressure here. Maybe I can scare him, but I don't have enough pressure, unfortunately. We get Spell Bop, Alter Time. I think we're hitting different people there, unfortunately, but it happens. So this one's a bit tough to watch because, again, it all comes down to I screwed up at the beginning and I didn't get enough cooldowns out of the ret because of my mistake. So I'm showcasing this for a couple of reasons. Okay. Number one, people make mistakes. You're human. And people at high MMR make mistakes. People at low MMR maybe make more mistakes. But it's gonna happen. Okay? And the thing you need to realize is... let me play this out for a second, okay? And then we'll get to lesson time. Right, so I'm trying to get some sort of go here. We gotta get some pressure. He bubbles because I didn't get it earlier. And I just fall over. Okay. Had I gotten bubble earlier by kicking Searing Glare, they wouldn't have had that. Maybe we would have won. Maybe not. But maybe. Right? It would be very easy, and I've seen people do this all the time, where they go to the meters and they say, oh, my healer didn't heal as much as their healer. It's our healer's fault. It was my fault. Take responsibility. Be critical of yourself. It is the only way you're going to get better. Every game, even if you think someone else on your team threw it, what could you have done better? Because I promise, if people are making mistakes at 2.4 and above, you're making mistakes under 1800, okay? So, we're going to go, and we're going to see what it looks like to correct the mistake, okay? I'm actually glad that I got this. So here's the next game. It's out of order on this, but this is actually the very next game, okay? So first off, I'm telling the Holy Priest, you're playing well, because he faded my grip earlier, and that was good. So remember, don't type unless it's positive, guys. All right, so we're going into this. What do I know? I know that the Paladin he has good awareness, right? He's Searing Glared my go earlier. He's sitting behind the pillar. So here, the Paladin, I want to get a go off on the healer and a DPS, right? The Paladin runs behind a pillar. What do I do here? Should I chase the Paladin? No, because it's going to put my healer out of position. So what I want to do is just swap. I'm going to hit the closest person. The priest is right here. You know, I'm just going to hit him a little bit. Not sending cooldowns on him, but I'm hitting him. And what happens? They come running right back around, right? Because their healer's getting hit and they want pressure. So he runs right back around. My healer's playing great. Instant dispels my fear. I got lucky there that the healer was very good. So now I get my grip blind, right? So grip blind. AoE stun coming out, right? Now we're getting a ton of damage. The priest is trinketed, so here we go, right? How did I screw up last time? Did not kick the Searing Glare. This time I'm ready for it. Kick the Searing Glare. We win the game. Okay, so that is a perfect example of be critical of yourself. You probably are making mistakes that are costing your games. Record them, watch them, grow from them. Even if somebody throws, or you think somebody throws, it could be a mistake that you made at the very beginning of the match. And that's a perfect example of the first one. I didn't kick the Searing Glare. The second one I did. And the second one we won in the opener. So these are some examples. I hope the lessons that I'm trying to teach from this, again, you can find gearing and stats wherever, but this is some gameplay information, and the main things I want you to take are: 1, be critical of yourself. Find your mistake each game that you lose. 2, do not leave gaps in your CC. Blind, stun, silence. Okay? 3, in between your goes, you are disrupting, respecting cooldowns. 4, protect your healer. Okay, they're your friend. They're there to protect you. And 5, don't be a dick. Be nice to people, right? Leave a nice comment or shut the hell up, right? That's all it takes, guys. You do those things and you will go up in rating. I promise. Alright guys, hopefully that was helpful. If you have feedback, let me know in the comments. Tell me what I could have done better, how I could have explained something better, what you'd like to see. I'm thinking about doing a BG Blitz one as well for Frost and Unholy of what you can do in BG Blitz. If you have questions, I'm a very, very small streamer, so you can stop by my stream and ask me questions. You're not going to bother me. Ask me whatever and I'll show you. I can show you more games. Yeah, good luck guys. Get your rating and suffer well.